All right, so we're going to be doing a review there for South Park season 27, season 28 there. Even though this trailer has really nothing to do with what happened in South Park. But I mean,
No,
this
they
is
just
great.
made this up. This is just its
Yeah.
own little joke.
But yeah, so that's out right now. I watched it. It's on Paramount Plus if you want to check it out there as well there. But a lot of things big about this season, what it was taken on Trump. We talked about earlier, I think, yeah, season 27. We did a review of that or like early on there.
Like the
And
premiere first 2 episodes or something like that.
yeah, they were taking on the Trump administration. The Trump administration was coming at them. They were firing back there and making it. So this season was big. These 2 seasons were big on Trump, and all the
Yep.
Trump administration people making fun of them, not only but Trump, but JD Vance. Vance's tattoo from Fantasy Island. Then Satan's also made a return in it where he's having a sex with Trump, who's
Yep.
basically just Saddam Hussein from the earlier seasons, but just with a Trump face on him.
Yep.
And his face moves like a Canadian. Then so yeah, they're together and they're having sex. And then Satan ends up getting pregnant with Donald Trump's baby in it. There's that. Then Pam Bondi is also getting made fun of, Christy Nome,
Yep.
Pete Hegseth. Then they also throw in some other billionaires. Peter Thiel is also showing up in there. And then the dude, I forgot the guy's name, who's the head of the FCC. I forgot his name, but
Oh
yeah,
God. It's not coming to me right now, but I do. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, that dude as well. They make fun of him. Some people were like, well, these 2 seasons, it's too much focused on Trump, maybe there with that. What do you think?
I don't see. I wouldn't say that there. It's too much focus on that. I think they just maybe repeated some of the same jokes too many times. I feel like there is plenty of room here to maybe even more than they did, to be honest. But I just think that they went back to a couple specific ones kind of over and over again instead of maybe tackling different new angles. And there's no shortage of material, but I feel like they maybe just stuck to some too much
Mm, yeah.
repeated, like very. I mean, yeah, just repeated some specific ones. Just I think too many times.
Yeah. And what were those jokes for you that were you felt like were repeated too much?
I mean the spread out, the spread eagle, like it just pointed at the camera just over and over and over again in like every episode. That I don't know. I got pretty tired of that.
Mm. They do a lot of repeat ones in it. Some really hit for me. I mean, I like the one where it was a Chrissy Nolan where her face kept falling
That
off.
one was yeah. I actually think everybody that's like part of the whole Trump circle that's not him. I thought all of those jokes worked like pretty perfectly consistently about like everybody else.
Okay. So you like the stuff with, like, the recurring joke. That was one with Christy Nome where her face kept falling off,
Yeah.
and that you'd actually never get to see what her face looks like when her face falls off.
Just
It's
your imagination does the work of a horror film there.
yeah, there's that one. I already mentioned JD Vance. He's like tattooed from Fantasy Island. Then the whole thing with Pam Bondi, she's always got like shit on her nose. Like every time you see her, like it's just more and more shit on her nose. There's that one. Did they make fun of the press secretary? I don't remember them doing really her, did they?
Not so much. I think she might have been in the Halloween episode, but like not as with nearly as much of a focus.
Okay. They didn't do
I
that one.
wonder how much like the I guess a wider audience like keyed into like I feel like the Peter Thiel jokes were so specific, like because there is this like bizarre sort of like Christian fundamentalism that is like started to emerge in Silicon Valley that is like a tech bro religious people, and it's such like a specific little moment or in place that I wonder. Like I feel like I talked to a few people that watch those episodes that were like, I don't really know what they're referencing as much with some of that stuff. Like I
Mm,
just wonder how many people got what the joke was there.
okay. I know the big stuff about Peter Thiel. Stuff I know, very anti-humanist guy. You know what I mean? Like when asked the questions, like, "Do you think humanity survived?" He couldn't even just straight out just answer, like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "Oh well, I don't know." He had to think about it and stammer for like fucking
We
two
had some
minutes.
giant like multi-day event about the Antichrist. They had to pay like $10,000 to get a ticket to or some shit like that.
Yeah. But this is how they portray him in the show, which is, I mean, kind of pretty spot on there with it. I think pretty much, like it's kind of really look like that. Very big Easter Island head. You getting it going on, sunken in eyes there.
Almost Frankenstein like.
Very Frankenstein like, very stitched together, there. And then there was the whole stuff with, yeah, Christina, yeah, him, Peter Thiel, and then Pete Hegseth. The big thing about him was just that he's like a social media guy. Like that's the only thing he cares
Yeah.
about is just getting likes and having people like and subscribe. He's all about the photo ops. Because like every time you see him, he's always doing a photo op, working out or doing something like that. So that was kind of the big thing there with him. Um, who
I
do you
thought one
think?
of the strongest threads was the Jesus character.
There's a new stuff with Jesus going on. So Jesus becomes the counselor at the kids' school there. And then he starts to kind of, and that's the other, like, other than the Trump stuff, the other stuff that kind of comes in is like the whole kind of like woke being dead now. And
Yeah.
like whole that kind of aspect of like, well, now that Trump has won again, and like people are kind of feeling hopeless, and where can people get that hope from? And even Jesus, who comes in, is supposed to be like this guiding guy, like this counselor. Even, I mean, he's Jesus, you think he can turn things around, but even he can, and he kind of succumbs to the hopelessness and like, hey, I'm just gonna get mine and fuck everybody else there. And he kind of succumbs to that with a PC principle.
Yeah.
What do you think about that other core aspect of the show there with that?
I actually found that one to be more consistently hitting. I feel like just the whole forcing Jesus back into the school system and sort of the lack of value, like genuine values that a lot of people purport to believe in, and then clearly don't really believe deep down. Uh, yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of that right now, and I think I think that has only become more relevant since the episodes aired.
Mm. Yeah. And yeah, that's kind of a funny thread there. So with Jesus and the fact that he turns into like just a bro, like PC principal, and then he gets a Margalago wife or girlfriend, you know what I mean? And Botox, fake titties, there with that aspect. That's kind of decent there. And then they kind of do like a pop culture episode, like a fully, like they do one about Labubus, there that kind of ends up kind of funny. I was kind of weak on it at first, but then there's like a whole demonic sacrifice ritual with that added in there.
I had
Uh,
to learn what like the Labubus were after that. So I thought it was funnier once I like was like, okay, what is this thing? Like, what are we even talking about? Then I appreciated the jokes a little bit more.
yeah, they're kind of like basically, I guess, this generation's troll dolls. I guess like
Yeah,
these
troll doll, Beanie Babies. It's
Beanie Babies.
one of those types of things.
Yeah, people are like accessorizing with them and shit like that. Like it's like I guess the newest thing or whatever. And so both season 27, 28, they only have 5 episodes total, about 10 total there. Um, what stood out to you as being like some of the weaker episodes, or strongest episodes?
I think was it the second one when they did the ice raid episode. That one I thought was like take and the stuff with her face falling off. I thought that was really strong. And then I thought the Halloween one with the Labubu one. I thought those were two of the stronger ones. I thought that that like Thanksgiving episode that they did was kind of weak though.
The turkey race they did.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weak.
Yeah. And yeah, the big joke about that one is like they want to Saudi Arabia sponsoring the turkey race for them because they need some money. The town needs money or whatever. And obviously, I think that's a parody of like the comedians going to the Raya festival and
Yeah.
doing that and getting paid to do that. And then Saudi Arabia, just in general, seems like they're buying everybody out, like WWE and like that. They're basically, a lot of people say they're trying to become Dubai, basically Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia, and try to become like this global export for like tourism and all that. So I was like, let's get invested in that. Yeah, I could kind of see that with that one. And then, Cartman's doing shitty stuff. He's doing race science, and they're trying to do like I'm the best racist, that joke. That's kind of like a, I don't know, tired joke, I guess, a little bit for them. I mean, they try to do that one with that. Um, I think for me, I mean, that episode you're talking about, Got a Nut, which was Mackie, he turns
Mhm.
into an ICE agent because he gets fired as a counselor. So then he needs money, so he becomes an ICE agent for that. That was
Ironic that Jesus took his job.
yeah. Jesus took his job there. That was kinda good there. That was kinda fun. I mean, it's just funny seeing Mackie as an ICE agent. That's just kinda funny. I mean, I don't know, like, this just kinda just the visuals of that is very funny there. I can see what your point about the turkey episode there. I'm trying to think about another weak episode for me, in it as well. The Towley episode, I wasn't maybe the biggest
Yeah,
fan.
I would agree. I think that one wasn't the best either. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and sometimes just even throughout the season, I feel like this season more than most relied on like some of it was the just nudity that I was talking about, but like it does I feel like rely on gross out humor a little
Mm.
more often than maybe is typical.
Mm. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, with it, and then I mean, him being so Tally basically turns into a semen rag. There.
Yeah, it's just in the background for most of the rest of the season.
Yeah. Also, the Christmas episode, I wasn't really too big of a fan of. I mean, it has a kind of a good ending. It has a good payoff
There's
of
a
it.
great twist in it of who shows up to like he's praying for a particular someone and then who actually shows up. I thought that was a pretty good callback.
Yeah, that was kind of a nice one, but and then the ending was the way it ends with the the baby and the whole because it's all about because Satan and Trump have a baby. Trump doesn't want Satan to have the baby, so he's trying to like kill the baby. So he's trying to do all these things and like elaborate Looney Tunes type shit to have the baby be killed and have Satan miscarriage. This is wild ass sentences to say actually. But yeah, he's trying to do that, and then the conclusion of all that kind of comes out like that's kind of like a funny bit, which is kind of like a Epstein kind of bit they
Yeah.
do with that, which kind of is funny. So yeah, I mean, do you think this just should have just done a season 27 with just the 10 episodes and just waited to do, or is
I
there like a
have
specific reason they do that?
we don't know for sure, but I have a feeling it has to do with the fact that there were like renegotiated contracts while they were working on these seasons. Because if you remember, it also had to delay its start. Like just the premiere was pushed back like what 2 weeks or something, like
Mm,
kind of at the last minute because they had to renegotiate contracts. Um, so it's probably because of that. I'm guessing because it
mm,
something with how people were getting paid or how the budget was allocated or something required them to then make it like an additional season or something.
gotcha. Yeah. So I mean, it's typical South Park foolishness there that you see. I mean, I haven't really kept up with a lot of the newer seasons of South Park. You're someone who does still watch it pretty religiously, is what
Yeah,
I'm
I don't think I've missed anything. I think I've seen all of it.
okay. And how would you compare these seasons to
I
like
think these two were a bit weaker than usual. I actually think 9 times out of 10 the show is still pretty on point. There's weak episodes here and there, but I generally like most of what they do still. But yeah, I thought these two were. I think they were a little weaker than the average.
okay. And just because of the gross out humor or
The gross. I mean that, and that's a me thing. I mean, someone else might find that very funny, but yeah, that really worked against it for me. And then I also they've done a lot of seasons now where it's slightly more serialized and like the plot continues across multiple episodes. And I am starting to feel like they've maybe run out of steam on that. And I wish they would maybe return to every episode being a self-contained thing again.
mm, okay. What would be your rating for it?
I think at the end of the day, I just give it. I think I just give it a tune in. I think there's some very good material spread out, some weak stuff. I think it evens out to being like a yeah. If you like South Park, I mean, it's more South Park. I don't think you're gonna dislike these episodes, but yeah, I definitely don't think they are living up to the like best days of the show.
Okay. I think it had a hot start to kinda go out because they had, I think, better material because it was the whole thing I said between Trump and them and going back and forth, and that
Yeah.
kinda cooled off, eventually after that, and there's, like, a good bit with Jesus where he comes up and goes, like he talks to the crowd, and he has to kinda whisper, and, he's like, "He's about to sue me, and I gotta be careful there," and also the stuff with Paramount, which I don't know, I mean, Paramount now that they're shifting focus and everything like that of how they want to do news, how they want to cover things, who's in charge, who's the CEO now of Skydance and all that stuff like that. Will they try to get rid of South Park? And maybe they can work with material that, like, how far can South Park push the boundary with all this other stuff, with the politics stuff, before they go like, okay, we're gonna cut you loose there. Do
And
you
this
think that is?
season did feel like them, like the Trey and Matt pushing that particularly, like pressing the button over and over again and be like, "Are we canceled yet? Are we canceled yet? Come on, we're
Yeah.
daring you."
I mean, with all this kind of, so do you think that, I mean, there is like a avenue like for them maybe not to get canceled or to get canceled or?
I mean, the thing is like when the season set 27 premiere was coming out and there was that delay and all that stuff happened, they signed a new contract for like a billion, like 1.5 billion. So
Ooh.
like, I mean, to me, it seems like they just locked in harder with these
Mm,
guys. So I mean, I guess there's the possibility always will exist, but to me, it seemed like they just made themselves like so valuable and so important to the future of the company because of how much money they're paying them that I don't think they can do anything to get rid of them now. Not after that.
mm. Yeah. So, I mean, they locked in. I mean, I guess they could always, I don't know if they could renege on the contracts or something like that and try to get them out of there. But at the moment, it seems like, yeah, they seems like they guess have a home there. Um, and I mean, I'm sure if they become free agents, so there's a lot of people that would want to snatch them up. And yeah,
They
definitely
could
snatch 'em up.
start their own media company entirely and probably do fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. As much of a strong, dedicated fan base as they have. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up with a lot of the South Park stuff there, like the Ozempic stuff. I know they did like a short kind of thing there.
That one
Uh,
was good.
really, it was really good. Okay, that's really
I
good.
enjoyed that one. I thought that was pretty good.
And then they did the COVID stuff. They did that. I didn't see that stuff.
I liked those as well as they did two specials. They're like an hour each.
Okay, so that's pretty good. Maybe I'll check those out since I have the subscription just for a month there. Maybe I'll check those out. But yeah, this seems like a decent season. A couple seasons of the show. Like I said, some misses there with that. Some of the episodes, and I don't think it started. I don't think it ended as strong as it finished. Like with, and I'm combining both of it basically. Season 2017 because it's so short. I'm
They
basically just
feel like one season.
yeah, I mean, I'm combining both of them there. And like you mentioned, they had the turkey episode. Some of the jokes kind of don't really hit, like the Hegseth one. It doesn't really kind of hit all that much, really. You know what I mean with that. But yeah, so I think it started off stronger than it ended for me. I'd give it like a stream it for me. Just give it kind of like a like regular stream it. But yeah, so you give it a tune in, I give it a stream it for these 2 seasons of South Park there. When is season 29? Do you know when they're gonna possibly release
They
that?
haven't announced anything yet. I don't think. Sometimes it can be a long time between seasons, just because, like, I mean, they I know they're working on that movie with Kendrick Lamar, and they also run that restaurant now. There's like a whole other thing, and so they don't always. And I mean, it might even be like another one of those like specials, streaming specials before they do another season. I don't think we've really heard anything. Usually they announce stuff like kind of close to when it comes out. So
So it's supposed to be, it says the one with Kendrick Lamar, that's supposed to be coming out March this year.
really, I mean, not delayed at all. That's soon. I feel like there's been no marketing or trailers or anything.
This article here I'm reading. So it says it was delayed from July 4th, 2025 to March 20th this year.
Huh.
So yeah.
If
I
there's
thought it was
been no marketing.
mm, yeah. I thought I heard something at one point that it was kind of like canceled. I thought at one point,
Oh,
or they did something. I don't know.
interesting.
But yeah, interesting there. But this article is from March 31st of last year, so I don't know. Maybe
Okay, so maybe it got delayed again.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe things have changed there. But yeah. So that was our review for South Park.